Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, since they didn't exactly change the definition, we didn't bring this up, but I would first like to have a brief reference to the definition. I would just like to ask, does a nuclear bomb use nuclear energy, and therefore shouldn't be incorporated in the definition? But we also believe that our case is strong enough that we don't even need to include a nuclear bomb, because our geopolitical tension argument says that power plants themselves have a possibility of propagating into actual nuclear bombs, as happened in North Korea, as happened in Iran. So we believe that argument still stands. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do three things in my reply speech. Number one, I'm going to prove why the opposition was principally wrong. Number two, I'm going to prove why their need did not exist. And number three, I'm going to prove that how they had a factual misrepresentation. And I'm going to prove these three things by asking three questions. Number one, should human life be valued over energy efficiency? Number two, do we need nuclear energy? And number three, is nuclear energy as good as the opposition would have us believe it? So the first question, should human life be valued over energy? No. And the proposition has proved to you throughout today's debate that because nuclear energy directly relates to harming human life, that it should not be valued over human life. So to this, the opposition has only said that it's only a rare occurrence. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we believe that seriousness should be valued over frequency. We see that murder doesn't happen as much as car accidents, but why do we think murder is such a serious problem? Because the problem itself is serious. So we believe even if the problem is rare and doesn't happen as often, we believe that it's serious. And we have proved the nuclear energy is dangerous by proving to you 4 points. Number one, positive feedback. Number two, perpetuating. Number three, ripple effect. And number four, human sacrifice. It is positive feedback because it is very volatile and the damage spreads. It is perpetuating because radioactivity doesn't go away in a matter of simple years. It causes, number three, it causes ripple effects because it propagates through atmosphere, wind, and other living organisms. And number four, and most importantly, it directly harms human lives because when we have accidents, we need humans to go in and clean this mess up. And that leads to people dying, people being harmed, and people being mutated genetically because of radioactivity. And this has all happened in the Japanese accident that's happened today. Hundreds of people died cleaning up the mess of nuclear energy in Japan. So having said that, we believe their argument is principally wrong because they're promoting energy efficiency over human life. Moving on to the second question, do we need nuclear energy? No. The proposition has conceded that we need energy, but that doesn't mean we have conceded we need nuclear energy, because we have proved to you that there are alternatives. And I don't get why the opposition is dropping this. We have the solar energy, wind energy, geothermal energy. And since they have not proved why these alternative energies actually fail in comparison to nuclear energy, we believe we have provided an alternative. And also, the opposition has said that because technology will advance, nuclear energy will be safe in the future. So if we're not as far from safe nuclear energy, this also means we're not as far from safe green technology. So if we have time to make technological advances, why shouldn't we focus these technological advances on green technology, which is internally safe, rather than focus our efforts on trying to make something so dangerous, less dangerous as what the opposition is trying to do? So to the example of France they have given, we answered, number one, there are alternative energies, so France won't be left with 0% of energy. And number two, even if they do, we believe human life should be valued over energy efficiency. So their example also first. Finally, the third, I'm going to prove to you how they have a factual misrepresentation. Are the facts the opposition has given us right? Number one, is nuclear energy as efficient and cheap? No, because we have said in the arguments that the cost currently calculated about nuclear energy doesn't count in the maintenance cost. So when we counted all the costs that are incurred for dealing with the radioactive waste and dealing with recycling the nuclear power plants and disassembling them, then the cost rises way beyond what the opposition would have us believe. The current statistics the opposition has given is a gross miscalculation. Number two, is nuclear energy as environmentally friendly? Now, ladies and gentlemen, CO2 isn't the only aspect of environment. So if you have seawater, sea temperature being ruined, and you have, as in the example I've given about the Bay of Kola, we have nuclear energy being dumped into oceans, and we have radioactivity waste. Is that environmentally friendly? No. Thirdly, about reliability. Yes, we have had in the past months we have had about 100 people die. So we believe that nuclear energy is reliable and that they reliably always fail us. Ladies and gentlemen, so if nuclear energy harms human life, and there are other alternatives for using energy other than nuclear energy, then yes, nuclear energy must come to an end, and you go proposition. Thank you.